The big lake trout, when they look at you, it's weird. You'll see the eyeballs moving around in that eerie looking sight. Hear that? Hear him burping? One of the most massive lake trout I've ever seen. You guys ready for this?
The Fishin' Canada Show, brought to you in part by Sail, the Outdoors Superstore. Coleman, the Outdoor Company. Muscal, proudly Canadian since 1951. Cooper Tires, life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. And Princecraft Boats, dominate the waters.
There are not a lot of things that a single country can state ownership or dole out guaranteed bragging rights to. In terms of fishing though, Canada has got a done deal. An ace in the hole, a pick it up and go alone hand. A guaranteed bring it on, because you're all shooting for second place. This, my patriotic fishing friends, is the majestic and powerful lake trout.
Look at that.
Nowhere else in the world will you find such a vast array of color, shape, and of course size as you will with lake trout in Canada. This fishing mecca has posted, held, and broke more world record lakers than anywhere else on the globe. Kinda makes you proud to be a Canadian, eh? So I think it's pretty obvious that today's show is about lake trout. Big, nasty, carnivorous lakers. But it's also about some surprisingly tiny creatures that help to make it all happen. I'm hitting Lake Athabasca, which straddles the Saskatchewan-Alberta border and sits just south of the Northwest Territories. I'll be fishing the Saskatchewan portion. This massive body of water is the 8th largest lake in Canada, with 7,935 square kilometers of fishing surface, 2,140 kilometers of shoreline, and up to 124 meters deep. This is a virtual ocean compared to the lakes you usually see us on. Ange and I are double teaming on this trip. While I fish for lakers, he'll be fishing for monster pike.
Look at this pike!
Another episode you do not want to miss. Captain Bruce, our host and owner of Lakers Unlimited, where we're staying, does guarantee me a trophy, and that's what this lodge is known for. Ever since the completion of Ice Out, which was only 7 or 8 days ago, Captain Bruce and his guests have been going out, weather permitting, to a drop-off a few kilometers south of the lodge, waiting for a particular moment in time, which, by the way, has not happened as of yet. That moment, believe it or not, and the entire success of this trip is dependent on, of all things, a bug hatch. For those of you who are doing a double take right now, a hatch is what fly fishermen standing in a river dream about. Being there when all hell breaks loose and the water comes alive with insects. The trout fishing here has been a bit sporadic up until now, but since this drop-off is a reputable hotspot, I'll use it as my starting point and go from there, keeping a sharp eye on the conditions. By combining a drift using the wind with a touch of control from my Merc, I can flutter a big bright spoon or swim a gigantic tube jig up and down the drop-off and efficiently cover it for hundreds of yards if that's what it takes.
There's one. Oh, against the wind, oh boy. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put her in neutral. I'm gonna drift back to that fish. That looked like a long fish. Yeah, I think I got a good one here. A decent one anyway. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. On the old spoon, back and forth from spoon to the tube. See, he hasn't run yet. I'm waiting for him to just pound right down to the bottom. There, that's what I was expecting, is to see that. Now he's doing the run. Wow. He came up so easy. I knew that was too good to be true. Can you imagine? I mean, this fish is not a big laker. Can you imagine a 35 or 40 pounder, which they get here quite consistently? That would just beat you up silly. There's my sinker, and there he is. Quality lake trout right there, my friends. With lots of power. Are you gonna give Petey a chance now to land you, buddy? It's not huge, but I'll tell you what, I'll take this guy any and every day of the week. Nice little Athabasca laker. Now look at that tail. That thing, that is where all his power comes from. That's not even flared out. That's got a lot of power. And these things are so full of muscle. Lake trout are just incredibly muscular fish. That's a small lake trout for this lake, believe it or not. Beauty though. I gotta say, she's a beaut. He's just gonna probably very slowly take off. I'm gonna let him go. A big gray ghost. Saskatchewan Lake Athabasca Laker. Look at them big eyeballs. Those are the ones that freak you out because they just stare at you.
Weather conditions in the extreme north can change almost instantly. That can be a good thing or a bad thing. For me, it's a great thing. The nasty sky is starting to break, so I've moved out to a big flat with pockets of soft bottom. Perfect for a bug hatch.
Now, I gotta figure out which way the wind's blowing. There's no wind here, and I just don't want the boat to be, if I get this fish to the boat, I don't want him to be rolling under the boat. I think I've got him on the wrong side here, but he hasn't pulled any drag yet, so he's gonna go very soon. He's gonna run right down 40 feet of water, guaranteed. Like that, right there. Like that. Oh, he stopped. He did a short one for me. Look at how strong these fish are. Uh-oh. 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 That could almost be, that's why you want to get them on the other side of the boat if you can. Like that, right there. There. Now I got him on the right side. What an awesome fish. Look at that.
For fishing this big flat, a weighted quickfish or flatfish can be deadly. Not only does the wide, slow wobble drive big lake trout crazy, but by adding lots of weight, I can dig the lure into the bottom, trying to imitate a feeding Cisco, whitefish, or burbot that would be rooting around for insects. It's a deadly way to trigger a giant laker into biting.
Okay, he's hooked well. He just ate that. The hook only, look at that. He is a beauty. Ooh, he just burped, hear that? There we go. Hear him burping? I don't know if you can hear that. It's hilarious. He's burping because he got him from real deep, from 40 feet of water, straight up. Burp. Strong fish. Amazingly strong fish. Yeah, hear that?
By now, you're probably asking yourself, what do tiny insects have to do with boating monster trout? It's called the food chain. The little fish gather to eat the insects, and the big fish gather to eat the little fish. And by the looks of the lake's surface and above it, you guessed it, my timing is perfect. This hatch is on.
Okay.
Here are some interesting lake trout facts. On big, deep water lakes, there are phenotypes of lake trout, meaning their appearance and shape are different from each other. It's the same species, just a different look. Environmental conditions can influence the color or hue of a laker. For instance, tea-colored water will produce darker fish, and lighter gin-clear water, like I'm on today, will produce lighter-colored fish. The shallower the lake trout live, the lighter the skin color. And finally, big lakes equal big fish.
Oh yeah, this feels good. Come up to a big reef that some of the boys from the lodge are on right now. And doing something a little different from the spoons. We're dragging big quickfish and flatfish and bumping the bottom with them. And you can really feel the bottom. It's like a big crankbait, basically, digging into the bottom. Running about, it's 40 feet of water. You still got to run almost 100 feet of line just to get that flatfish just cranking and digging into the bottom. You'll feel it. The normal feel of a quick fish or a flatfish is sort of like dug, 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 really solid. When you're cranking the bottom, you can feel it thump, thump, dig, 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 thump, thump. So it's a real, oh. Now he knows he's hooked. There he is. Oh, nice looking trout. Nice looking trout. That is a gorgeous lake trout. Not done yet, folks. Okay, big dog, you ready to come and look? Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing is gonna freak you out. If you've ever seen a big lake trout, their eyes, when they look at you, it's weird. You'll see the eyeballs moving around and that. They're a very eerie looking sight. Let's see if I get him in. Nice fish. He's tiring out now. Come here, big fella. If I get the hook out now, it'd be most awesome. Oh, fell right out. There we go, people. I'm gonna give it an effort here. How's that for a Saskatchewan Lake Athabasca Laker. Look at them eyeballs. When you look at this fish, look at them big eyeballs. Those are the ones that freak you out because they just stare at you. Oh yeah, well, that's a nice fish, hefty. And you know what? I mean, he's not absolutely huge. See how he pulled? Pure muscle. The lake trout is just absolute pure muscle. And they're fun. It's open water. They have room to roam and fight. And boy, I'll tell you what, you better let them fight. Because otherwise you're probably gonna lose them. There, buddy. Look at that gorgeous beast. For one more goodbye. There you go. Oh. If that don't tire you out, nothing will. Woo! Nice. You guys ready for this? Oh! You got my life jacket. Oh yeah. I like that. I like that feeling. Let's see what we got going on now. The old chartreuse seems to be working. Spoons and plugs and everything. Look at that thing. Solid 18 pounds maybe. Now apparently at the lodge they're saying that you should be able to easily catch 6 to 8 of these per day per person, this size of fish or bigger. And you're here for a week, you're gonna catch a lot of fish. You're gonna catch 30 or 40 of these lake trout this big or bigger. You just can't horse these fish in. Look at this thing. Yeah, maybe a 25 pounder, that one. Whew. I'll tell you what, you and a buddy come out here on a trip, you get the guide putting you onto these things, I think you've had a good day. Look at these things on his head. Wow, way bigger than I thought. Oh, my arm is full of scum. No, I don't know if you can see any of those. They've all left off his head, those worms, but how awesome is that? I am so off with that fish, folks. That fish is, yeah, he's definitely over 25 pounds, maybe close to 30. I don't know. And that's how they get this big and this strong. Whoa.
Trolling these big wobbling plugs with 4 to 8 ounces of weight is a pretty extreme way of fishing. The combination of all that weight, plus the front end of the diving bait constantly biting into the rocks, mud, and whatever else that lies on the bottom, makes the fishing feel more like a chore. But it's well worth the effort, and if it's working, I'll drag all day long. Today's hotspot is a big 40-plus foot flat in the open water of Lake Athabasca. The waypoint on your screen will get you there. Trolling is your best method here in order to cover as much water as possible. Adding weight to your presentation will ensure that you get to the bottom of the lake, a key element for these lakers. I used a minimum of 4 ounces and up to as much as 7. Spoons, flatfish, and quickfish seem to be the most effective baits here, and bright colors definitely work for me. For more hotspots like this one, check out fishingcanada.com. Okay, so I found my pot of Athabasca Gold, an insect hatch being fed on by baitfish, which are being fed on by big lake trout. You'd think I'd have it dialed in, right? Well, we as anglers are rarely satisfied, always experimenting. And with that, I changed to, of all things, a pink bait. Yep, you heard it right, pink. Fishing never ceases to amaze me.
Look at this one, folks. Yeah, baby. That's the one I'm looking for. Look at the noggin on him. Wow. Look at this thing. This is a massive fish, well over 30. My God, folks, this is one of the most massive lake trout I've ever seen, let alone been a part of catching. Oh. Okay. Don't flop around, fish. Please, just let me get one shot of the camera on this guy. You guys ready for this? Ah! Oh, my God. He's got my jacket. He's got my life jacket. 35? Well, who knows? Maybe more. I don't know how to judge these things. Look at this in Lake Trout. Oh my God. Look at that beast of a fish. Look at the top of his tail. I think might be worn down a bit. Oh, look at the head. Big eyeballs will just stare you down. Whew. I can barely hold that fish up, folks. That thing is so heavy. That is such a heavy, big dude of a fish. I gotta revive him nicely. Look at the mouth on him. Absolute, oh, don't let go of my jacket. Big fella. Oh my God, look at this lake trout. Look at him. In all his massive splendor and glory. Oh. Come on. Look at her. I can still see her 15 feet down, going down. Still see it? Incredible. That's the beauty of it too. The clear water, you can watch everything coming up and going down. What a pig. What a massive beast of a fish. Oh.
To get to today's amazing lake trout fishing, I first flew from Toronto International Airport to Fort McMurray, Alberta. From there, I caught a plane that took me to the runway adjacent to Lakers Unlimited Lodge on Lake Athabasca in Saskatchewan.
Today's KLP, I'm going to take K out of the KLP, K for knowledge. What has happened here is in the last couple of days, first off, I have to find some lake trout. I found a good concentration of lake trout. The water temperature was about 49 degrees. The problem was they were all small to medium size. A couple of decent ones in there. But knowing that the big ones are going to follow the small ones, because I'll tell you what, the small ones are there for food, the big ones are going to come in behind and all that food, and the small ones are going to have to look out and give way to that. And that way, if I stay in that area and keep working, maybe a wider spread, wider trolls, keep doing different passes and all that, changing baits, eventually I'll hit some big fish. And that's what knowledge is all about.
The Fishin' Canada Show, brought to you in part by Ram Trucks. Nothing works harder than a Ram. Stearns, trusted on the water since 1952. Mercury Outboards, #1 on the water. And Outdoor Canada, Canada's only national fishing and hunting magazine.